Okay, let's go over Fallout Season 2, Episode 6, titled The Other Player. First of all, starts off with Barbara Howard as she's in a bunch of Vault Tech meetings discussing plans for the future and products placements that they can do during it. The first one of these is making the bomb look bigger in advertisements, but the bombs are going to be much smaller. It's just to increase the price of sales and everything like that. The next one is adding in highways and other stuff like that. And the scientist one, the most important one, is that water chips are going to fail. At least 30% of them will almost fail right off the bat or after a few years, leading to the fun theory that Vault 13 was one of these vaults, which inevitably led to the downfall of the Enclave. But I posted a short about that. Make sure to go check it out. But moving on, the final meeting is with Mr. House. Mr. House is willing to give his mesmetronic-like device over to Vault Tech. Now, a change for these meetings compared to the last one is that Betty was the note taker. For this meeting, Hank is the note taker, and he's really interested in this device, as we can obviously tell with the current season, as he is trying to make this device 100% work, and he wants to make everyone friends with each other under some sort of mind control illusion. But we'll talk about that more later in the episode. Now, obviously, this plan does not go through, as Mr. House does not get the cold fusion that he so badly wants, so I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. But moving on, we still get to see Cooper Howard as the ghoul present day, still stuck in the middle of Freeside, impaled by a pole. No one is helping him out, no one in Freeside really cares for him. But this leads to a fun flashback to pre-war. He is currently sitting on the bed and he's discussing with his wife about the end of the world and how he does not trust her anymore. But as it turns out, she is on his side and does not want the world to end. She fears for her daughter's life and agrees with Cooper, and she's been trying to figure out who's been behind it. Shocker, it's the Enclave, that's the other player. We'll discuss more about them later in the episode, though. But we now get another cut that brings us back to post-war with Lucy, as we get to see what happened to her in the vault. It turns out, after last episode, Hank took Lucy over to his new little underground vault that's hidden underneath Vegas somewhere. Now, this vault is where Hank's running all of his experiments for the mesmetronic-like device, and when Lucy wakes up, she's supposed to dial 0 to tell him that she is up. But she does not. She instead goes and investigates. Turns out Hank has been kidnapping a lot of people from Legion, NCR, Freeside locals. He's been acquiring a ton, and they're all under the mind control state, thinking that they're all friends with each other and just working on work, making more of these devices or food. Lucy finds Hank making a meal for both of them as he wants her to see the future that he is trying to build, where everyone is friends with each other under this mind-controlled state. Total peace, but without any freedom. Now, Lucy goes and arrests her dad because her dad did cause the destruction of Shady Sands and has killed numerous people trying to get to this point. So she tries to arrest him, and it cuts back to a different character. So let's go over Maximus and Thaddeus, who just escaped the BOS Civil War. And there's nothing really crazy that ends up with them. They discuss, like, they should sell the cold fusion, but they're not. They're going to keep it. And we'll get back to them later in the episode, but it's like a whole 4 minutes of them just talking about the cold fusion and what they should do with it. Now, moving on from Maximus and Thaddeus, we get to head back to the ghoul and see how he's doing. He is not doing too well. He is currently in between a feral and non-feral state, but somebody comes and saves him, destroying the pole and taking him to a place where he can recover. We'll learn about this character momentarily after this. We get to see what's going on in Vault 33 and Vault 32. Let's discuss 33 first. In Vault 33, there's still that water crisis because their water chip is malfunctioning, which we learned earlier that Vault Tech can kind of predict when this happens, so they kind of chose all these vaults for it to happen to. But Betty is still trying to figure out what to do, and there's that club that's eating a lot of food, drinking a lot of water when they really shouldn't. And it just shows how unpopular Betty is because she can barely get the situation under control. And that's pretty much all that happens there. And moving on to Vault 32, we get to see Davey looking for Woody as he wants to play checkers with them, and it's really weird that he is missing. Chet was the last person to see him, so he goes and asks Chet, hey, where's Woody? Yeah, Stephanie definitely killed Woody, and as another side note for Chet, congratulations on a wedding. He is now shockingly marrying Stephanie next episode, which we will see later this week. Sorry for the late episode release on this one, by the way. But that's basically all that happens there. Moving on to the next part. So let's see what Cooper has been up to. Turns out his new friend is a super mutant. We have not seen one of these creatures in the Fallout show other than the first season as like a dead body. That doesn't count. We now get to see a live one. Turns out they're in a new location that's not Jacobstown. Jacobstown may have been overrun or overtaken as that was the super mutant settlement in Fallout New Vegas. but I would imagine after a few years they would have to move it, unfortunately. But they are in that new location, and the super mutant goes and heals Cooper, wanting to align themselves together because there is a war coming in the future, and they need him. Now, Cooper does not want to join the super mutants, and the super mutants don't really want to kill him as he's still a useful asset. So they knock him out, and they return him back to the wasteland. We'll catch up with what happened to him a little bit later. But when he's knocked out, we get another flashback to pre-war. Turns out, Barbara goes and explains that the person that's controlling the bombs is the Enclave. They scared her into that idea and forced her to say war never changes. That quote exactly. They are the person, or at least Wilzig, shocking reveal, is the person that was watching from the top area. It was not Mr. House, which was a lot of people expecting that. It was kind of obvious it was going to be some sort of Enclave member, but I could have also seen it as Mr. House watching from that black window for the War Never Changes area. But it turns out the Enclave are the ones who wanted to drop the bombs, not Vault-Tec. Big reveal this episode that I did not see many people talking about. But moving on, we get to catch up on Hank and Lucy. As Lucy is trying to bring out Hank, 2 more people get brought into the mind control area. And Lucy gets to see firsthand how feral these people are for each other, as the NCR Elite Ranger and the Legion assassin member or the Legionary try to kill each other. So Lucy has to activate the mind control to make them stop fighting, as Lucy finally gets to see the work that Hank is trying to do. The work is still wrong. It was just a very unique situation that required it. But we'll catch up more with that next episode. We just get to see that Hank has some idea and he's not completely 100% evil. He's still pretty evil, but it's like 95%, okay? He's not really doing it for the betterment of everyone else. But Lucy agrees with them and sees what Hank is doing, so for the meantime, she is going to stay there and not arrest Hank. Now, we get another flashback to pre-war, as we get to see Cooper go and drug Hank to take the cold fusion out of his neck thanks to Barbara's help, as they are now officially on the same team trying to figure out who the Enclave are, which is going to be a very weird series of events, as they are both divorced, or at least we get to learn that they're divorced prior to the bombs dropping from the first episode. So I'm really surprised to see where that's going to go, or somehow how her and her daughter are in a cryo vault in Vegas when they were originally in California. I really want to see where that goes, but I guess we'll have to learn in the next episode, or episode 8. But now to end off this episode, we get to see CX-404 awaken both Thaddeus and Maximus, as the ghoul has been placed by the super mutant nearby, as they go and find the ghoul, and they are going to go team up to go save Lucy next episode. And that's pretty much where this episode was. There wasn't a lot of action or crazy reveals. It was cool seeing a super mutant. It was cool seeing Wilzig alive in pre-war, but that's pretty much it for this episode. It was a lot of exclamation for storylines and stuff like that that needed wrapping up, so we can finally get a lot of action-based and plot moving forward episode 7 and episode 8. It's kind of a builder episode. I wouldn't say filler because there was a lot of good reveals, but I wish there was a little bit more going on, but that's personally my review. What do you guys think of this episode? What do you think of this YouTube video? And please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.